9 Lies About Work, A Freethinking Leader's Guide to the Real World by Marcus Buckingham and Ashley Goodall. Picture this. You've just scored your dream job. You spent months doing detective work, stalking the company website, devouring articles, even hunting down employees on LinkedIn like you're solving a mystery. You nailed every interview question and asked all the right ones back. Finally, the golden email arrives. You're in. Day 1, you're practically floating through the door, but something feels weird. Your new manager has this stern vibe, kind of hierarchical. You tell yourself it's probably just her professional face for outsiders. Fast forward to day 13, and reality smacks you in the face. You answer a straightforward question from a senior executive in a meeting, and afterward your manager corners you with ice in her voice. We don't share that sort of thing with senior people here. Next time, check with me first. In that single crushing moment, the dream shatters. By day 15, you're secretly marking a potential exit date in your calendar, 2 years out. This actually happened to a woman named Lisa. And her story exposes something uncomfortable. All those things we're supposed to obsess over. The company's shiny brand, its inspiring mission statement, those Instagram-worthy office perks, often have almost nothing to do with whether we're actually happy at work. The modern workplace is packed with ideas like this. They sound brilliant in boardrooms and look great in business books. Everyone treats them like settled science, but when you dig deeper, when you hold them up against messy human reality, they crumble like wet cardboard. Mark Twain supposedly said, "It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so." In their eye-opening book, 9 Lies About Work, researchers Marcus Buckingham and Ashley Goodall take a wrecking ball to these supposedly sacred truths. They have combined decades of data from powerhouses like Gallup and Cisco with real-world experience of what it's actually like to lead a team. They're not spinning theories. They're revealing what the best leaders and highest-performing teams actually do, which often looks nothing like what we've been taught. This isn't your typical business book. It's a reality check for free thinkers. It's a promise that if you pay attention, you'll start seeing the workplace not as some idealized fantasy, but as it really is. And in that clarity, you'll discover the secret to building extraordinary teams while finding more joy, meaning, and success in your own work. So let's jump in and demolish the first and possibly biggest lie of them all. Lisa's story, deciding to bail on her dream job after just 15 days, raises an obvious question. What the hell went wrong? She'd done everything by the book. She researched obsessively, she grilled her interviewers, she thought she had it all figured out. But she made one critical mistake, one we all make. She thought she was joining a company. In reality, she was joining a team. Which brings us to the first massive lie that Buckingham and Goodall expose. Lie 1. People care which company they work for. On the surface, this seems obviously true. We wear company logos on t-shirts. We get a little proud when our employer makes the news for something good. We drool over those best companies to work for lists, with their fancy perks like on-site daycare and gourmet cafeterias, thinking, that's the ticket. These are what the authors call cultural plumage, like a peacock's bright feathers, designed purely to attract us. But once you're actually inside, your world shrinks fast. It shrinks down to the 2-foot radius of your daily life. Your reality isn't shaped by the CEO's TED Talk-worthy vision or the solar panels on the roof. It's shaped by who you grab lunch with, the colleagues you huddle with when problems explode, and especially the team leader you report to every single day. The research here is crystal clear. When the authors surveyed thousands of teams at places like Cisco, they found something wild. A person's work experience varied more within the same company than between different companies. You could have one team at Google that's creative, trusting, and firing on all cylinders, while right down the hall another team is miserable, micromanaged, and fantasizing about escape. Same company. Completely different universes. Here's the truth. While you might care which company you join, what determines how long you stay and how well you perform is which team you're on. Your team is everything. The sun, moon, and stars of your work experience. Everything else is just background noise. This simple truth changes the whole game. It means the most important role in any company isn't the CEO, it's the team leader. And if you are, or want to be a leader, this tells you that your people's experience isn't in some distant executive's hands. It's squarely in yours. So if building a great team is what matters most, how do the best leaders actually do it? This is where we crash into two more lies. Ideas that sound like Management 101 but actually cause more harm than good. Lie 2, the best plan wins. And lie 3, the best companies cascade goals. Think about a movie like Ocean's 11. George Clooney has this perfect, intricate plan. Every person has a specific role. Every move is choreographed, and half the fun is watching it unfold like clockwork. In the business world, we're taught to channel our inner George Clooney. We craft strategic plans, 90-day plans, departmental plans, all trying to control the future and get everyone marching in perfect formation. The problem? Real life isn't a heist movie. General Stanley McChrystal learned this the hard way while fighting Al-Qaeda in Iraq. The world moves too fast for any plan to survive. By the time you've gathered all your information, analyzed it to death, and created your beautiful detailed plan, the world has already shifted. Your plan is obsolete before the ink dries. Planning doesn't show you where to go. It just shows you where you were a little while ago. Cascading goals are just more of the same flawed thinking. The idea sounds logical. Senior leaders set goals, which get broken down and passed down the chain until every employee has goals that supposedly align with the top. This is meant to boost performance and let the company track progress. But research and actual experience tell a different story. For top performers, goals often work like ceilings, not motivators. Once they hit their sales quota, they stop selling and stockpile deals for next year. For others, imposed goals feel like coercion, breeding fear, and sometimes leading to seriously unethical behavior. Remember the Wells Fargo fake account scandal? And the whole idea of tracking % complete on a goal is an illusion. You're either done or you're not. You can't be 50% through running a marathon. You either crossed the finish line or you didn't. So if the best leaders don't rely on plans and cascaded goals, what do they do instead? They swap plans for intelligence, and they replace goals with meaning. The authors point to the Battle of Britain in 1940. The Royal Air Force was outnumbered badly by the German Luftwaffe. Their plan of flying constant patrols was failing miserably. What saved them wasn't a better plan. It was a better intelligence system. They built a network of radar stations and observers feeding real-time information into a central war room. This system didn't dictate what pilots should do. It showed them what was actually happening, right now, so they could use their own judgment to make smart decisions. The best leaders today do exactly this. They don't hoard information to build some master plan. They liberate it. They trust their people are smart, and if given accurate real-time data about what's happening, they'll make good choices. This is why great leaders have frequent check-ins with their people, not once a month, but once a week. These aren't tedious status updates. They're intelligence sharing sessions built around two simple questions. What are your priorities this week? And how can I help? It's a real-time sense-making ritual that keeps the team nimble and coordinated. And instead of cascading goals, the best companies cascade meaning. They understand people don't need to be told what to do. They want to know why. When you give people a clear sense of purpose, a mission they actually believe in, they'll be smart and motivated enough to set their own goals to get there. This alignment happens naturally, not through force. Take Chick-fil-A. Founder Truett Cathy didn't just want to sell chicken. His mission was building leaders in local communities. That's why, even today, a franchisee can only own one restaurant. This cascades meaning. It tells everyone that what matters most is staying close to your team and community. The system is designed around the why, and the what flows naturally from there. This brings us to the heart of the book, the very nature of the people on our teams. Because if our job as leaders is getting the best from each person, we first need to understand who they really are. And this is where the business world gets it spectacularly wrong, with a series of lies that fight against basic human nature. It starts with lie 4. The best people are well-rounded. Our entire corporate universe is built on this idea. We have competency models, defining the ideal employee, with endless attributes, strategic thinking, business acumen, customer focus. We get rated against this model, and our development areas are identified as places where we fall short. The goal is plugging our gaps, fixing our flaws, and becoming as similar to this perfect, well-rounded ideal as possible. But excellence in the real world looks nothing like that. Excellence is weird, it's spiky. Think about soccer player Lionel Messi, arguably the greatest player ever. But if you actually watch him play, you'll notice something bizarre. He does almost everything with just one foot, his left. Out of 19 times he might touch the ball on a run toward goal, 17 will be with his left foot. He's not a well-rounded player. He's wonderfully, deeply lopsided. He's taken his natural gift and sharpened it to such an extreme that it's become an unfair advantage. The same holds true everywhere. The best people aren't well-rounded. They're sharp. They've identified their unique strengths and cultivated them with intelligence and discipline. The truth is, your uniqueness is a feature, not a bug. Your greatest contribution, fastest growth, and deepest joy will come not from fixing weaknesses, but from honing your spikes. This leads straight into the next falsehood, lie 5. People need feedback. Questioning this one feels almost sacrilegious. We're constantly told that millennials crave feedback, that candid corrective feedback is the key to growth. We've got 360-degree reviews and always-on feedback apps, all designed to hold up a mirror and show us our flaws. But the authors make a crucial distinction. What people actually crave isn't feedback, it's attention, and not just any attention. Neuroscience shows that when we receive criticism or negative feedback, our brain's fight-or-flight system lights up. It shuts down access to other brain regions and actually inhibits learning. It literally makes us dumber in the moment. Positive attention, though, attention focused on our strengths, our aspirations, what's working for us, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. This stimulates growth of new neurons, makes us more open, creative, and insightful. We learn most not when we're pushed out of our comfort zone, but when we're deep inside it, because that's our strength zone. The research is stunning. Positive attention is 30 times more powerful than negative attention in creating high performance. Legendary Dallas Cowboys coach Tom Landry got this. Instead of showing players films of their mistakes, he created highlight reels for each player showing only their winning plays. He wanted them to see, over and over, what excellence looked like for them so they could recognize it, recreate it, and refine it. This doesn't mean ignoring mistakes. It means that correcting a mistake only prevents failure. It doesn't create excellence. Excellence is something separate entirely, born from obsessing over what's working. But if we can't trust feedback, how do we measure performance? This question leads to another lie underpinning our entire talent management system. Lie 6. People can reliably rate other people. Every year, in a meeting you're not invited to, your manager and other leaders gather to discuss you. They place you in a 9-box grid, give you a performance rating on a scale of 1 to 5, and make decisions about your pay, promotion, and future. You hope this system is fair, the data accurate, and that who you really are gets represented in that room. The devastating truth? It doesn't. Decades of research show that when we rate others on abstract qualities like strategic thinking or performance, our ratings are fiction. More than half of your performance rating has nothing to do with you. It reflects your raters' biases, their personal definitions, and their unique rating patterns. This is called the idiosyncratic rater effect. Our rating systems aren't windows through which we see others. They're mirrors showing only ourselves. Adding more raters, like in 360-degree reviews, doesn't fix this. It just adds more noise. Bad data plus more bad data never equals good data. So is all measurement hopeless? No. While we're terrible at rating others, we're reliable at rating our own experiences and intentions. You can't reliably rate my performance, but you can reliably answer, do I turn to this person when I need extraordinary results? You can't rate my potential, but you can answer, would I promote this person today if I could? These questions don't pretend to capture objective truth about me. They humbly and reliably capture the subjective truth of your reaction to me. And that turns out to be way more useful and honest. This insight helps us dismantle the next lie about our future. Lie 7. People have potential. Potential gets treated like some magical inherent quality that some people have and others don't. We label people high potentials, or hypos, and give them special opportunities, while others get branded lowpos and overlooked. The authors argue this is not only deeply unfair but also nonsensical. There's no evidence for a generic quality called potential, allowing someone to succeed in any setting. The Elon Musk story proves this. Early in his career, investors in his first company decided he lacked the potential to be CEO and demoted him. His next company was confused by him. They saw his spikiness, obsessive drive, and messy style, concluded he didn't fit the mold, and saw no potential. They completely missed one of the most transformative entrepreneurs of our time. Here's the truth. Everyone can learn and grow, but we each do so in different ways, at different speeds, and in different directions. A much better concept than potential is momentum. Momentum is your mass combined with your velocity. Your mass is who you are, your unique traits, passions, what you love. Your velocity is where you're going, your performance, skills, accomplishments so far. Unlike potential, which is a fixed label, momentum is dynamic and within your control. You can't change whether you're labeled a hypo, but you can absolutely change your momentum. The conversation shifts from, do you have what it takes, to, given who you are and where you're going, what's the next best step for you? It's a conversation that honors your uniqueness and empowers you to own your future. As we start seeing individuals not as collections of flaws to fix, but as unique people with momentum, we can finally tackle the biggest myth about our lives as a whole. Lie 8. Work-life balance matters most. We're taught to see our lives like a scale, with work on one side and life on the other. Work is supposedly bad, draining, stressful. Life is good, restorative. The goal is keeping the two balanced, preventing the bad from overwhelming the good. But this is a defensive and ultimately unwinnable game. Nobody ever achieves perfect balance. It's like Sisyphus pushing that boulder, constantly trying to juggle competing demands. The authors propose a radical reframe. The struggle isn't between work and life, it's between love and loathe. In every part of your one life, there are activities that energize you and activities that drain you, things that feel like strengths, that make you feel strong, and things that feel like weaknesses, that exhaust you even if you're good at them. The authors call the things you love your red threads. The secret to a thriving life isn't balance. It's weaving more red threads into the fabric of your work. The goal isn't to do what you love, which can feel impossibly luxurious. It's to find the love in what you do, which is a skill anyone can practice. The authors suggest a simple exercise. For 1 week, carry a notepad with a line down the middle. Label one side loved it and the other loathed it. Whenever you do something that makes you feel strong, energized, and flow, write it on the loved it side. Whenever something drains you and makes you procrastinate, write it on loathed it. By week's end, you'll have a clear picture of your red threads. Your challenge isn't eliminating everything you loathe. That's unrealistic. It's figuring out how to do a bit more of what you love next week. Research from the Mayo Clinic found that physicians who spent just 20% of their time on activities they loved had dramatically lower burnout rates. A little love goes a long way. This brings us to the final and most profound lie, the one governing how we think about power, influence, and impact. Lie 9. Leadership is a thing. There are over 60,000 books on Amazon about leadership. They all try defining it, breaking it into universal qualities, vision, strategy, authenticity, charisma. The assumption is leadership is a thing, living inside certain people, and if you want to be a leader, you need these traits. But look at history's great leaders, and this model collapses. For every essential leadership quality, you can find a great leader who lacked it. If leadership is vision, what about Warren Buffett quietly analyzing companies in Omaha? If it's perfect ethics, what about Steve Jobs parking in handicapped spots? The well-rounded leader is a myth. The authors argue we've been looking in the wrong place. Leadership isn't a set of traits inside a leader. It's an experience inside a follower. A leader is simply someone who has followers. So the right question isn't what do all leaders have in common, it's why do we follow? We don't follow well-roundedness. We follow spikes. We follow people who are really truly exceptionally good at something that matters to us. We follow mastery. We're all fundamentally anxious about the uncertain future. When we see someone with a pronounced strength, a deep spike of ability, it gives us something to grab onto. It gives us confidence. It makes the future feel slightly less scary. We followed Martin Luther King Jr., not because he was perfect and well-rounded, but because he was a master crucible maker. He had an extraordinary ability to bring issues to a head, creating intensity and focus until, from the white heat, something new emerged. That was his spike. It's what gave people confidence to follow him across the Edmund Pettus Bridge into an unknown future. Your challenge as a leader isn't acquiring a checklist of generic competencies. It's discovering your own spikes, your own unique way of being, and honing them so intensely that you give people around you that precious, essential gift, certainty. Stepping back from these 9 lies, a single powerful theme emerges. The modern workplace, in its quest for simplicity, control, and scalability, has tried sanding down the glorious, messy, spiky edges of our humanity. It's created systems, competency models, performance ratings, cascaded goals that treat people like interchangeable machine parts. It asks us to conform to a model, fix our flaws, and leave our true selves at home. What Marcus Buckingham and Ashley Goodall have given us in 9 Lies About Work is a powerful, data-driven argument for rebellion. It's rebellion against the tyranny of the average and a celebration of the individual. The book's central message, the path to excellence for both individuals and organizations, isn't erasing our uniqueness, it's harnessing it. The most powerful lesson for me is the perspective shift from fixing what's wrong to building on what's right. We live in a culture obsessed with deficits. We hunt for the 1-star review, focus on the test question we got wrong, replay our mistakes endlessly. This book gives us permission, backed by science, to do the opposite. Become connoisseurs of our own strengths, hunt for our red threads, and understand that our greatest growth opportunity lies in areas where we're already strong. This isn't soft or idealistic, it's pure pragmatism. The fastest way to build a high-performing team isn't turning every member into a well-rounded clone. It's figuring out how to combine their unique spikes into a well-rounded whole. The most effective way to lead isn't mimicking some idealized leadership model. It's understanding your own spikes and how they can provide certainty and confidence to others. If there's one simple action to take from this summary today, it's the loved it/loathed it exercise. Take 1 week. Just one. Pay attention. Notice the moments that light you up and the ones that shut you down. This simple act of self-awareness is the first step toward reclaiming your work and making it an expression of who you truly are. It's the first step toward turning a job into a joy. That was a summary of 9 Lies About Work by Marcus Buckingham and Ashley Goodall. We've covered a lot of ground today, but I hope you feel, like I do, that this is just the beginning of a conversation. A summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. It can show you landmarks, but it can never replace actually walking the terrain yourself. The real power of this book is in the stories, data, and quiet moments of reflection it provides. If anything we've discussed has sparked your curiosity or challenged a long-held belief, I strongly encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning new management techniques. It's about rediscovering a more human and ultimately more effective way to work. The link to the book is in the description below. And of course, if you found this journey valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to Billionaire's Bookshelf. Each week, we dive into another book with the power to change how you think, work, and live. Your support helps us continue this mission. Let's keep learning and growing together.